Today we are going to be talking about SHX, some ties into venture capital, some ties into the Federal Reserve, and a potential Uphold listing that could happen on February the 14th. And at the end of the day, it feels good to own SHX right now. I found this post by Cypress Demanencourt. He talked about this fintech retreat, and I was able to put together some connections out of it that all go back to SHX, XRP, and XLM.
Pay attention to detail, people. Fintech retreat, February 5th to the 6th. You don't get invited or attend these events for absolutely no reason, okay? You scroll down here, you hit attendees, and what do we see? Major organizations, major government agencies. We got the White House, we got the FBI, we got the Federal Reserve Bank of Philadelphia, the Federal Reserve Bank of San Francisco, and oh, would you look at that? The Japanese Minister of Finance, right? Must be random. Then we also have Visa, and then right down here we got Ripple. You have no other distributed ledger technology companies or blockchain-based solutions here on this. See, just Ripple. Must be an accident that their name is there, right? No, check this out. Back to Japan Ministry of Finance. Y'all remember back in 2021 when the freaking securities regulator in Japan said that XRP wasn't a security? Must have been a coincidence, no? Because what did we determine here in the United States? Same thing, right? What else did we see last year? September 2023. Japanese financial giant to use Ripple and XRP for international remittances.
And at that point, I will make some ties into all of that with XRP directly. But I was able to find the page online, and of course, it does not explain a lot of the content that was actually talked about. But let's take a look at who was actually speaking. So you've got the president and CEO of Grasshopper Bank. That ties back into SHX. Then you have Visa as well. That ties into XRP, SHX, and I believe XLM. Then you've got the Federal Reserve Bank of Philadelphia here. And you have XRP and especially SHX highly connected to those, with XRP being tangentially connected to FedNow, and you have SHX being connected directly to the Federal Reserve Banks because of their work to revolutionize ACH payments. There were a couple of others that popped out as well. Let's see if I can find them again. I thought that there was one more, but again, we've got two Federal Reserve banks here that ties very nicely into SHX because of the ACH payments. And then we have Ripple here, obviously, but you have Plaid. They are working with SHX as well. I don't think it's made it onto K Thingal's maps. Yep, it's actually right there. And you've got that tie into Visa and Finastra, which goes back into XRP again. So it's got tons of things on here. Then you have the Bank of America. They are a big proponent of Ripple and XRP. You've got SVB Capital, who's connected to SHX. And I saw a couple of others. You had, I thought I saw one more. I don't know. But the point is that this was a get together of a lot of very powerful people in the fintech and traditional finance spaces. And it's really interesting that right after this, we have had a giant run up in SHX to just under 1 cent right now. So we are currently at uh, 0.93 cents, and we are continuing to move up even on the 4 hour chart right now. So it has been a crazy day. But to just remind everybody, especially on the Japan connection, that is heavily involved with Ripple and XRP because of SBI R3 Japan and R3 Corda does have some connections into XRP directly because there is publicly available code to use XRP in the Corda application. This right here just popped up. I've got some notes on that as it relates to SHX. So that is interesting. I'll have to keep that in mind. And then I always tie in XLM directly with SHX just because SHX is an XLM token. It transacts with XLM, and you've got the same connections into IBM. Okay, so the ties between SHX, XRP, and XLM go way, way back to the PayPal mafia, including Elon Musk. So you've got the SHX chief technology officer, Tammy Camp, who is the chief executive officer, came directly from XLM. And you have a lot of other very powerful people on here that are titans in the payments space and now in the crypto fintech space as well. So, a little bit on the chart for SHX. We have just now turned back up positive for the MACD, and we have a very good RSI right now too. So it is pretty hot right now. And then on the daily charts, we have been really trending up. So we might hold this area because there is some historical support and resistance at around 1 cent. But if you look at the 4 hour chart too, that is continuing to go up, and it is the same thing on the 1 hour and under. So why is SHX actually picking up all of these gains right now? It is a legitimate company in Silicon Valley with real experienced people behind it and pedigree investors from the outside. They are the reason for these gains, and in my opinion, why they will continue as well. So this is a little bit more on the big money that K Thingal has been able to directly connect to SHX, and a lot of that comes out of Aduro Advisors, which I have actually made an entire video on that, and a number of their highest profile clients. So I find crypto banker SHX actually agreed with this as well. He finds it interesting that one day after the fintech retreat, Ripple is hosting a meetup at their HQ about their blockchain and payments outlook for 2024. That is probably because a lot of very powerful individuals and corporations and institutions were all in that area at the same time. They are announcing new products regarding their money transmitter, having a hard time on L's right now, I'll skip it, that cover the majority of the US at this time. The ties go deep as Sean is the chief technology officer, and he sits on the judging panel of XRPL grants and was the first developer to build on the XRPL. Tammy Camp worked at can't say that. I'm going to say XLM. And Jed McCaleb co-founded Ripple and XRP and the XRPL. And then he went and turned that into XLM, who are partners of SHX, and the SHX token is built on XLM. So we've just got more and more ties each and every day. And of course, Ripple is an investor in this. You've got key partnerships with IBM. This is now Ripple Labs, and this is obviously XLM because I can't say STs well. So know what you hold in preparation for a new financial system that none of us have experienced, in which certain deflationary tokens that are adopted will by design perpetually increase in price. Can you see that SHX has been adopted? Now, that'll probably end up as the text on the thumbnail on this one, so I appreciate that. But that goes in line with the idea that some kind of connection that came out of this might have been heavily involved with the run up in SHX. So where was I? This was actually 2 days ago now, so I haven't seen what the new one is. But the point that I want to make out of it is that now that they are burning 70% of the SHX tokens involved in the merchant financing and rewards programs, they are burning an average of 13,300 per day. So that is really interesting, and I imagine that that will continue to increase as we get more adoption of SHX. So Janet begins dropping crypto bombs on the same day as all of these were in San Francisco attending the fintech retreat. So I talked about a lot of those, and it's just another point that makes it really an interesting connection.
Council is focused on digital assets and related risks, such as from runs on crypto asset platforms and stablecoins, potential vulnerabilities from crypto asset price volatility, and the proliferation of platforms acting outside of or.
Yeah, I can't pay attention to all of that because it sounds like she is just repeating what's on a script, and in a lot of ways she is. But the important point is that there is more action to actually pass legislation that would provide regulatory clarity for adoption of these exact kinds of assets like SHX. So a lot of people, and I am becoming one of them, think that SHX is positioned the same way that XRP was in 2016 and 2017. So one XRP was equivalent to about 0.8 cents at that point, which is just about where we are right now. And that then went up to, I think, over $3 in 2017, and it hasn't ever returned, primarily, in my opinion, because of the trouble that the SEC decided to cause, which I think that it has a lot more behind that. But the big point is that if SHX had the same all-time high market cap as XRP did back in 2017, then it could be about $24.68. Now, technically, this is using, I believe, the coin market cap information. So the actual market cap as of a couple of days ago was about 60, and here it's about half of that. So this would go the X would go down some, but the absolute value is still very reflective of the kind of potential that we have holding SHX right now, which is not financial advice, it's a fact. So now to move on to some more Uphold things. There's a potential SHX Uphold listing on February 14th. That has been going around for probably about a month and a half ago now, and there are some really interesting coincidences with that as well, which I'll probably explain again more in a different piece of content. But for now, you have the company adding 50 million more tokens into circulation, and that, of course, is SHX. So it is most likely 50 million went to an exchange that is about to put SHX on their platform. And I'm in here asking, is this you, Uphold? Now, for a couple of weeks, Uphold was pretty quiet in their replies to people asking them about SHX, which was interesting because they had been highly active with the SHX people on X, and then all of a sudden they just didn't respond anymore. And a few days ago, they began to reply again. So I found that pretty coincidental. And here's an interesting thing I came across. It is most likely not right, but would not be surprised if SHX got on Uphold on February 22nd instead of the 14th because of some gematria things. Now, of course, there's a lot of things that can change in the inputs and outputs, but there's some interesting coincidences around 222. If you're repeating like that, it is kind of interesting. And then I don't really know what is going on here, but yeah, it is all highly coincidental as we continue up towards the 1 cent mark.